Good evening. This is Paul Lennon, and continuing to read and comment my story of legionary life. And chapter 15, we're on today, continuation of chapter 15, which is called Reflections on Sexual Abuse in the Legion. I would like to remind you of the frontispiece to that particular chapter, which quotes St. Mark's Gospel. Whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to sin, it would be better for him if a great millstone were hung around his neck and he were thrown into the sea. Today I will be talking about one of the important persons in the story in the Legion saga, and that is José Barba Martín, who is still with us through the grace of God and my privilege to be one of his close friends. And this part of the chapter, which would be the fourth part of the chapter, shall we say, that I'm reading and commenting, is called the Puma's Accusers, or Father Maciel's Accusers / Victims. Some flashbacks. Little historical excursus here. I supported Father Peter Cronin, Requiescat in Pace, when around 1992, he initiated a newsletter to other ex-legionaries whose whereabouts he knew. We were unaware of the serious accusations of sexual abuse against Father Maciel at that time, and for several years later. The bomb exploded in the American media in 1997 with the Hartford Courant articles of Renner and Berry. I had not read them and was oblivious to them. Out of the blue in 1998, as best I recall, I received a phone call at home from José Barba. Paul, do you remember me? I am José Barba. Do you believe our testimonies? It was too point blank. Testimonies about what? I was thinking to myself. Totally at sea. I lacked context and information. First, we needed to catch up on the past interrupted 25 years of our lives, such as frequently the disjointed existence of ex-legionaries. I did remember José Barba, known at my time as one of the most intelligent legionary students. I remembered him from a visit I paid him when he was now as an ex-legionary teaching at the Universidad de las Américas in Puebla, Mexico. The then legionary priest and associate of Maciel, Juan Manuel Fernandez Amenábar, who would later accuse Father Maciel of sexual abuse when Manuel was on his deathbed at the hospital in Mexico City. But because Amenábar had a lot of freedom because of his fundraising activities, he found a way to visit his old confrere José in Puebla. I don't know why he took me in tow that day when we went to visit José. As I listened to José, the phone call, he launched into an explanation of his efforts to bring the testimonies of 10 ex-legionaries accusing Father Maciel of sexually abusing them to the notice of the Catholic hierarchy. He mentioned other persons whom I knew personally, Juan José Vaca and Arturo Jurado. I had known them in the Legion. José was leaving as I was entering in 1961, but I spent some time, at least I was in the same house for a while with Juan Vaca and Arturo Jurado. I was surprised, but the stories seemed credible. He described the day he lost his virginity with Father Maciel. The story was faithful to the Legion atmosphere and to the customs and character of Maciel. I had come to know beyond the aura of holiness and the legend of integrity. One thing I was convinced of regarding Maciel: he had no respect or concern for people. I always saw through Maciel. I can't believe why people are still having him, holding him on a pedestal, or remembering him with so much affection, when I could, through the grace of God maybe, I could see through him, just as he was supposedly able to see through us. Nevertheless, I could not roundly condemn Maciel without further information. I would be open to learning more about the accusations, I told José. After that, I read the newspaper articles. They rang true. They were all different, the testimonies, but they all said the same thing. Maciel's method sounded uncannily authentic, the abuse sickeningly real. I wrote to another Maciel victim around that time. So I was awakened by José's phone call. Dear Arturo Jurado, on Tuesday I received the videotapes Mexican Canal 40, Círculo Rojo program, April the 15th, 2002, you sent, and started watching them last night on April the 4th, 2003. Beginning with the first video, the rough version of the testimonies of 3 brave ex-legionaries. On the screen appeared the face of José Barba, whom I haven't seen for many years, and there he was, full of dignity, ruefully talking about his abuse. I was saddened and angry at Father Maciel listening to José's story. I, who loved to sleep late in the morning, did not sleep well. I got up at 6, a record for me. As I follow with the second tape, I understand better the nature of and grasp the reality and seriousness of this abuse. Hearing and watching Alejandro Espinosa talk about the recruitment of pretty boys, I made an uncanny connection with my own intuition. I seem to have stumbled onto the realization of Maciel being an ephebophile, an adult who loves adolescents, a few days ago when I shared my reflections with our Regain group. Memories and names from my own experience come to mind. When I arrived in Salamanca in September 1961, I do recall seeing a certain Arturo Jurado. He belonged to another community, and therefore we were not allowed to speak or communicate in any way, although we lived under the same roof. You told me later, Arturo, that Maciel had you quarantined as a form of punishment. At the time, I assumed Brother Jurado was already a philosophy student in apostolic practices. That is a period when the legionary takes a break from studies to get experience in one of the legion's apostolates or missions. Although I could not talk to him because of the separation of communities, he did seem to be a particularly gentle and quiet individual. I did not crash into him during one of our friendly intramural soccer games, but maybe that too was forbidden to you during your solitary confinement. Basta por hoy. That's all for now, and I'm praying very intensely for all those suffering, for all those who have passed away from COVID, from those who are still suffering from COVID, and for all those who have lost dear ones from our plague of the years. Please stay safe, be serious, take this very seriously, and take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Greetings from Paul Lennon in Central America.